This, can you see this? This converting thing?
Yeah, it pops up on my screen too. I have to click OK.
All right, there we go. I got rid of it. Okay, so this day was the CPI day, and I think I did okay. No, maybe I missed. Okay, this was an interesting day. So we had a pop, we had a drop. I think I tried a long here because technically you could make. Oh, I remember now. So at this point, I have a new rule that wasn't established yet. That 3 candle rule I showed you, you notice it's only for regular trading hour trend day, like after the open trend day. Like here, I was like, oh look, 1, 2, 3. This I thought maybe I could do a but because of liquidity and reasons that you can maybe understand, pre-market it's not
Mhm.
right. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I tried along here, like 3 candle, and it died. Like it was bad. But yeah, now
there
three.
must have been data at that 8:30 too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that I was still experimenting. But yeah, basically this should be nothing. And especially when it's a big data day, when it's like you saw with that other time when it was chopping, or here where it's just kind of like, ooh, you should just wait an hour. Like literally, like one of my sometimes I make them just wait. Like literally, what are you playing here? What are you chasing here? What are you playing? Like wait, right? Oh shit, this is the down. Okay. Anyway, so basically this day was kind of hard. And here is my logic to this day. And I have back tested. Remember, I said earlier that the 3 candle rule, when it's wall trend down, it's hard. So here's I'll show you a perfect 3 candle day a few days later. I remember because I missed it. Here, the only entry I can see is there was a level here, right? Somewhere between this overnight low and this. If you can imagine that there's maybe I had 2 lines here. There's a level here, right? When this, okay, so basically up around here, we have no idea what's happened. But then we're already at 10 o'clock. Once this move happens, you're pretty sure we're going down today, right? This is where it's kind of clear. High probability. So you see this candle, it doesn't quite get there. Like no matter what line, like maybe if you go by this, but I wouldn't go by that. But basically it doesn't quite get there. What I did not have a line here. I had the line up here. It didn't get there. Or if you go by this, the point is it didn't quite get there, right? And I'm
Yeah,
not
most of the
saying
times it doesn't.
I'm not saying you should do this trade, and I'm not even saying I've done this successfully. This happens maybe once a month on a big ball day. What you just have to do is you see the level here. If you really want to try it and you have FOMO, again, I'm not saying you should. You see this candle, and once it starts showing like a really bad wick, you could maybe get in like right about here on this candle. You see what I'm saying? Again, I'm just giving you my observation. I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying I've done it. This is like super hard. You just have to but you can kind of see the logic, right?
Yeah.
There have been days like this where we just don't quite get to the level. But remember, look, this is 65. This is 10 points. This it doesn't look that big, but this is 10 points. So like,
Mhm.
and then yeah, maybe this is actually maybe was this a 3 candle? Actually, hold on, was there a 3 candle? This is 65. Oh, you see this shit? This is 65. This is 64.7. You see that shit? It missed by 1 tick. And sometimes when it's perfect tick, you don't even fill. Like there's an occasional when it's like the exact tick, it won't fill you. But you see this again. Like I'm not saying that I would have done it or you should, but again, this is what I was just saying. When it's trend up, it almost always hits. But when it's trend down, even here, you see like like you could be like, oh, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the 3 candle. Okay, I got one, however many candles. We close below. I put the rest. Oh, I did miss. You missed this. What? 30 point. Nice, easy 30-point move. All I'm telling you is when it's trend down, the 3 candle rule that doesn't work as well. The logic is still there, but the resting order does not work. So that's like 2 examples. There's an example later in a few days where it does work. But again, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now I think we're maybe I don't think we're in official trend down. I think it's like really vol. What the fuck happened? Oh, I think this day we had something. There was data. What happened on Friday the 12th? At was it GD? What happened? There was data. I remember this. I remember you called this false breakdown or something when Mancini posted. I remember this. You pointed it out, and I got like not scared, but like I wasn't sure what the entry was. I just don't remember what data. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was clearly data. Friday 8:30. This kind of candle. There was clearly some event. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, and maybe it was PPI. This might be one of those weeks where PPI is active. This might have been PPI. Anyway, so
Crazy candle, yeah.
what you need to do, and this is when I have the 30 minutes. Oh shit. Oh. So this is why I have the 30-minute up. And look, the 30-minute. This is one of those like a false breakdown. Like when the trend is, even though the trend was up and this was down. So when you get to here, you're kind of uncertain. It could be trend. Like that's why sometimes in my Excel, I'll put like trend down within trend up. That's just telling me, okay, we've been trend up. We've had a reversal day, but that doesn't mean, next day's down. But when you zoom out, if you were just watching this and not the 5-minute chart, you see this candle. And then when you were, doesn't this, granted, you can't see this part of the W or the U, but doesn't this candle make you feel better about a false breakdown than if we were on the 5-minute? Like, oh shit. Like, I know you mentioned it that day, but that's why I just have, for me, the 30-minute helps. But yeah, basically, like, you could have entered, I don't know, if Tradevate, I don't know, I don't think they did extra margin on day, maybe, but maybe you could have entered here, maybe, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know. This again, I'm not good with this type of play. I remember us talking about it that day, but I did not play it. I cannot attest to being good enough. But there's some logic here again, right? You can see it. There was clearly a low here from the first day. We may still be trend up, trend down. And then maybe on the reclaim, maybe as soon as it reclaims, I don't know. I'm really bad. I know Mancini, like one of his top setups is like a false breakdown reclaim. And don't get me wrong, I play false breakdown, but I play it kind of differently than he does it. And I just haven't quite figured this out yet. But anyway, this day, obviously, it was trend up after a while, but there was no 3 candle. And I think there was a long here. I don't remember why. There was I remember this day I had a level. I don't know what it coincided. It doesn't like it may have been this level adjusted for SPA. There was a level right around here that you could have played, but I was scared because I thought we were gonna give it back, and then this you can't really play. I think I did not play this end of day. I don't play any of this shit. But anyway, but my point is once we were trend up for weeks, and then now we're kind of in weird vol. Not up, not down, just kind of all over the place, right? That's hard. But there are plays. You just and then yeah, okay, so now and then this was the next Monday. I remember I think I played a short right here after this third high, but again, it's kind of a hard day, almost not quite an inside day, but almost an inside day. But anyway, now we're getting to VIX X. So this was the Rubner top day, 16th, 17th. Shit, why is my phone up? Oh, don't worry about it. Okay, so again, if you zoom out, okay. So the day I'm talking about is here. We had overnight ASML. That's what Spark does. Now, technically, you could say we topped here, but like when I mean the change of trend, I mean this day, not this. Technically, you could say here the trend went from up to basically we had a few days of chop, right? Range chop,
Right.
but so you could it was hard. You could have basically just avoided these 2 days because, and then here is where it got easy again with the trend down. So now shorts are in favor. Now I'll show you this because I've been showing. I showed you chop. I showed you trend up, and then and you can go back to April too, and you can see. But now let's talk trend down, like clear trend down after the Rubner top. That was crazy. That was crazy how he timed that.
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
I will say, I checked. He last predicted a top in February, and he was wrong by like a month or two. So I'm not saying he's full of shit, but these guys, you know, they don't assume he's gonna get like remember he said April 30th or August 30th? He clearly got front run or something. Like we didn't even get close to August 30th before we took off.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was overnight, and I think I even had a short. I was doing something this night, or maybe I was trying to long. I don't remember. But anyway, this 1:30 ASML news came out here. Like literally, it was right here. You know? Okay. So trend. Okay, so clearly trend down has been established. I woke up. I don't know, around here, and I was doing stupid shit. I thought, I thought there was a false breakdown because, like, say like here's the level. This clearly was a level from the other day. I think we went up and then we held for like an hour or two, and then I was like, oh, false breakdown, boom, right? But that's why I was telling you when I showed you that earlier trend out false break. That was over what 6 hours. This is only over 2 hours. When I mean whenever I say the words over time, I mean like hours, many hours, not 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour. I mean, like basically overnight. You know, a lot of Mancini's big false breakdowns are like overnight false breakdowns, kind of like this one
Yes.
over time. That's why, like, this was over literally 2 days, and on data, and a clear big wick candle. Like that's what I mean over time. I mean usually like 6, 8, 10, 12, many hours. But yeah, anyway, going back, I remember I played along here because again, this was still what less than a month into my experience. I played along here, and then this first day was kind of hard because you can see there's maybe a logic for an entry there, but off this low, it's kind of hard because you never know. But this day was hard. The first down day was hard because look, we went down so much overnight that intraday. Remember this? I don't know if you remember this intraday was shit. Look how shit this intraday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I overtraded a little bit here, but I think the next day was the key day. This is where I fucked up. But this day kind of messed with me because it was so hard. The next day was so easy. That's why a lot of times when it's hard, it's better just to miss it because you've seen this with me. I'll miss an easy trade because I was getting cute and fucking around with you, and that affects with your whole side. You think you're questioning everything, right? If
Yeah.
this day just didn't exist in your mind, I would have been fine, right? This day fucks with me. But anyway, let's go to the next day. Because this was a slight trend down. Overnight, you can tell. I mean, again, there's no levels here drawn, but you can tell we didn't really do anything. We went up a little bit, sold, up, sold, whatever. Okay. Okay, so this was the open. We popped on, we drifted down, we popped at the open, and I remember trying to get short up here. I remember, like you see me on label on my charts, like overnight high. I think even if I set the level here, not here, see how it didn't hit? I remember setting a short here and it did not hit. I was so fucking pissed. Right?
Yeah, it's like 2 points, maybe
Okay.
less.
But let's see what happens. Boom, trend down, right? Look at so this was the regular trading. I remember we're in trend down. So 3 candle rule. The low here was 43.25. This was 43.5. Wow, this would have definitely filled. Look at that. Beautiful. I think Dershel might have played it. I think this is
I
when
think
I
he
was
did.
first talking about 3 candles, and he didn't quite fully understand, or maybe I just explained, and I think he played it that day. But you
Yeah, I
see,
think this was like the immediate next day after the
but
3
you see how
candle.
the other times it didn't. But you see how this was kind of smooth, even though there was a pop. You see how these candles are nice and clean. Yeah, there's some wicks here, but overall, like I've said this forever. Whenever it's like a week, like when you see all these wicky candles, that you should have never trade this. This is stupid. But when you see this day was so easy, and you know what the crazy part was? Like I missed this long. That's not my fault, right? This miss was not my fault. Just didn't get there. This look at that. This would have been 42, 43 to I don't so when it comes to a move like this, I never judge it based on this low. I judge it based on okay. I think on this pop after what 40 points, I think I would have exited. Like even my runners, I would have exited here. So like you know how like some people talk like highs and lows. Whenever I say like whenever I talk about my trades and like or like maybe I wasn't in the trade like when I was in SPX when I would never go by the premiums high or low. I would go by, okay, what would a reasonable interest, like, okay, so say if I took 15 points, so 15, I would have scaled right about here, 15. And then do we have a level? I don't know. There would have been a scale somewhere down here, right? I don't remember what that would be. I'd have to, there would have been a scale. There would have been a level somewhere that my first, so basically the automatic 15, a scale, and then maybe my runner, say my runner was way down here. Say I got greedy, but look at this. This is a temp. I probably, when I saw this screen, I probably would have gotten out of my runner here. Or worst case scenario, if I didn't, I probably would have gotten out here. Because look at it's basically when it's smooth and it starts to bounce or it starts being like less smooth. My logic is this. Okay, I missed what? 10 points. I got 40. I'm risking potentially 20, 30, 40 points to see another 10. So my point is I know Dershel is a little different. He'll hold the runner all the way until like, but there are other days where the runner will get stopped. Or my point is when I'm in profit by that many points, even if it's a runner, I don't want to give that much back. That's just me personally. Dershel plays it kind of differently, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I think there's some logic depending on the trend. If it's a range market, like I showed you, it doesn't make sense to me to hold runners. When it's the start of a new trend down, yeah. See, again, I don't know if he would have held the close is what this would have been. This is the close. Oh, actually, look, I don't see. Okay, so I have another rule. When it's a trend down day, you want to be out by like 3 p.m. Usually, if there is a pop, it's usually in the last hour. But if he held until the close, look where the close is, and look where I would have gotten out. You see that? My point is, and this kind of goes to what I was saying about like morning trades versus afternoon. This was way easy. Like this, maybe you like where's the level here? Like maybe you could have gotten it, but even here, it's not a smooth ride, you know? But my point is
Yeah.
if it held all the way to close, look, it's only like 5 points below where I would have gotten out. So basically, yeah, on this day, had I been in it, my last runner would have been out somewhere in the first 1 to 3 bounces. Like this would have been where I exited.
Yeah, we're also at 5,600 right there, so I'm sure
Oh yeah,
you would have got out.
so yeah, actually, that's actually a good point. Round numbers, perfect. That's actually that definitely. If I didn't, I probably would have been watching 5,600. So yeah, I probably would have exited at 5,605. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't even see that. Perfect, right? That's see, great. Okay. Okay, moving on. And you notice most of the days I've showed you, I'm talking about the morning. Very few have I talked about that. Again, I'm not saying there's not a trade here. It's just I don't see. I have to go by where is a clear level, or here 3 candle. Like what's the entry? Where can I give you consistent logical explanation for the entry? Right? I've been giving you pretty consistent logic, right? Yeah, okay, I mentioned an exception here or there, but the exception has repeated itself if you follow the rule. You don't want to be like, oh, there's an exception, but it doesn't meet one criteria. And I do it all the time, but like when it clearly fits the exception. But here it's just like, I don't know. Like that, this is where I used to overtrade SPX. This is why I'm like a great morning trader, but a terrible afternoon trader, especially on Fridays. But like it would be like here, I'd be like, oh, it's going down. Let me get it, but like where do I get it? Oh, here, okay. Oh, it's going down. Let me chase, but then it pops. Oh, let me chase here. Like this is just not worth it, in my opinion. This is all you make again. This entry we missed. If you make the 40 points here, again, it's not 40 total points, it's 40 points for the runner. Obviously, it's 15, 25, and 40. I'm just saying 40. The whole move for your runner will say about 40 points. 35, 40 points. Who the fuck cares? Like, my goal is to be consistent. If I make 10 points a day, that's not great, but I'd rather make 10 points a day. And occasionally, okay, if I luck into like a home run, basically anything like 30 to 50 is a home run to me. Like usually like 10 to 20 is like average, decent. But in ball times, like you've seen me hold, I think to like 50 or 60. I've never held to like 90 or 100. But once we're getting close to like 40, 50 points, that's real money. And remember during ball, like I was sizing, I don't know if I would have sized up here because I wasn't experienced. But when I size up to 20 micros, that's like 20 times 5. That's 100 times 40 points. But if you average it to actually being net like 25, because you're not seeing 40 on the whole thing, that's $2,500. This move would have been $2,500 to me at full size. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, at two of them, it would be like a K per every 10 points. At
Yeah, but
20
yeah,
micros.
I go by the average. You're not seeing 40 points on the whole position.
Right, right, right.
You're really only seeing like 25 points when you average out the 15, the 25, and the 40. Maybe it's 27, but somewhere you're really. But yeah, if I can net anywhere above 20 to 40 on my runners, I'm happy. Because whenever I get greedy, I'll either overhold, like see, like okay, say you get greedy, right? You're like, oh, it's gonna go to my next level. What the fuck do you do here? Unless you're like Dersh and you just commit, which I can't do. What the fuck do you do here when you're holding? What is this? This is 90. This is a 20. Remember you
22
asked me
points.
today about, I said you can bounce up to 25. Look, this is a great example. 90 to 15. It can bounce 25 points before it drops again. That's why earlier you were like, it bounced 10 or 15. I'm like, well, it could bounce more. But like, if you're holding a runner and you're like me and you're more twitchy, what the fuck do you do here? What, at some point you're panic exiting, right? At least you
Hmm.
so
Or
that's
you're
why
like praying for a gamble.
especially when it's like waterfall candles. When it's basically, oh, okay, so basically, if you really want to be greedy, if it's waterfalling like that, okay, take the plus 15, be greedy with your first level. If it's literally just, if you have the discipline, I've tried this at times where it's like, okay, if it's literally waterfalling, okay, kill this order, but have your finger on the trigger as soon as you see a bounce that scares you, get up. But really, like, what, you're fighting over what, 8 points? I've just found, like, again, whenever I try to be greedy or cute, it's more trouble than it's worth. It causes more problems than the points than that begin. Again, because for us, it's all about, you've seen it with your trades. Like, you've just been consistent the past couple of weeks. I'm not saying you've actually gotten pretty good exits, but overall, it's consistent. Like, I don't, like, every time I think about a home run, my mindset is bad. Something bad will happen within a few days, or even a few.
Hmm.
Like, just if you luck, when I say like if you luck into a home run, like it's kind of like this, and like when the trend was just so badly down, as we'll see later. If you just happen to get like waterfall candles, great. But I wasn't playing this expecting this. I was explaining this saying, oh, maybe if we just double bottom. Like if for some reason we double, I'm not saying I was playing, but I'm just saying like, look, 43 to this is still 20 points. My first take profit will easily hit. Like that was just my logic. I was like, okay, I'll at least make 10 to 20 points. That was my goal. And then look, waterfall. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. My action was clearly happier than that. But actually, no, I wasn't in this trade. Never mind. This was the trade I missed. I didn't make this trade. Anyway, moving on. I talked too much about that day. But it was a big day. Even though I didn't here, this was overnight. I don't remember what happened here. No idea. And there are examples, or sometimes it doesn't work all the time. This is a trend down market, so sometimes if there's like a major low either overnight or the previous day, sometimes it'll like back test overnight, and then it would have held. And then you get, but it's just not worth the headache. I just pointing it out for observation. I've seen a few examples like this, but again, I don't think it's worth the trouble. This day was interesting. It technically worked. I think this was another day where so I think this day I set my level here at the pre-market high, at the overnight high. But so I kind of have, it's not really a rule, but an observation. When there's an overnight high, and then there's kind of like a pre-market high, and same thing when it's like trend up. If there's like an overnight low and then like a pre-market low, a lot of times go by the here when it's trend down when you're trying to short, go by the level closer to open.
True.
Like this level a lot of times won't hit, and this level most of the time will not get, it won't wash out. So I think I missed this entry because I probably put it up here, and I should have put it here or here, whatever, either the wick or whatever here, and it would have worked. This was kind of a harder trend day. You see like how this day was so fucking easy, the candle. This day clearly looks harder. And I think here, I don't know, I don't remember if I played it, but you could have made a 3 candle because again, first move, so you had a first down move here off 1030, and then here would have been a 3 candle off this, it would have been off this wick, and it clearly would have not stopped, because this is 5 points here, and it's within that. And then you would have played it for 81 to, not bad, like the 35, 25 points, not as big, but you could have played it here. But again, you would have taken plus 15, and then you would have taken, you know, whatever. And then obviously, and I probably would have exited my runners here. You know, I'm not holding through this. And that's it. This day, so this day there were two possible trades. Again, this was kind of in hindsight because I was still learning. This was my first trend. The two entries would have been the pre-market resting or the 3 candle. I don't see any other obvious entries here. So this is what I always do. So what I'm gonna do later today. Two questions I always ask myself was what trades did you do that were just stupid? They violated rules, didn't make sense. Doesn't matter if I made money or lose money. Like this didn't make sense. And then more importantly, I mean that's important, but more importantly, it's this. What trades, like even if you couldn't explain the logic, like basically how I developed some of these rules was I clearly saw consistent entry types. I couldn't explain it, so then I kept looking back. I would go like months. I would literally be looking at 5-minute candles in trend, like it's similar. If it's trend down, I'll go look at a trend down from 3 months ago or a trend up, and I'll start to see patterns. And this is what I slowly developed over the past few months. One observation is this: overnight doesn't get the pre-market. The pre-market level is the better level, and then the 3 candle one.
Right, so we had two opportunities to enter the short here.
Based on the rules and the strategy I've created. Everything else, like, yeah, obviously you could be like, well, clearly here was a short, and maybe there was a level here, but it's not. Again, you can see like where's the level? The level was somewhere here, maybe, or up here. This peaked right kind of in between two levels, right? If you're just looking horizontal, and then like. Okay, yeah, this is kind of a signal of a peak because we kind of had it today where you get like 3 toppy wicks, but like that's getting real cute. That's getting real cute. I think the 3 candle, and again, this was look, this was exactly at 11. I'm okay with an entry right at 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. is like the last entry point. Like once you get to like 11:30 lunch, that's when it's bad. But a lot of entries have happened at 11. You saw earlier when I showed you that Powell day, it was right at 11 too. So when I say 11 o'clock, I don't mean like I can't make an entry at 11. I say like that's like my last chance to make an entry. Anyway, so we're in trend down. Keep going. What the? So we rallied overnight. No idea what was. I mean, trend down, don't play overnight because everything like earlier when I was showing that nice easy trend up where no supports kept, where everything kept holding. But yeah, this is like, how do you play this anyway? This, oh my god, I missed this fucking day. This day pissed me off. So you can see here. Either, and again, this is where it's hard because remember how I adjust the SPX level? So if the level was here, I don't remember. Anyway, I don't remember what happened here. But point is, I didn't enter here because you would have just had to guess this entry, right? There's no entry here.
Right.
You kind of know there's probably an entry, but there's no logic to it. Same with this bottom, no logic to it. Remember, the trend is still down. Yeah, we rallied a little bit, but look, we're right at there's some major resistances here. Yeah, we kind of got above, and I think that's why I didn't short it. Like, so basically, my logic at this point of the day, nothing. But we got to here, and here, remember, the trend is down. So when the trend was up, remember when I was saying the trend was up to resting long the low of the day of intraday? When the trend is down, you can put a resting long at the high of the day, high of the regular. Oh, fuck that. I'll do that in a second. At the high of the day. Does that make sense? So you could have put a resting here, and yeah, it kind of chopped, but then and here is even a triple top, and you really could have played it. But my point is, this is the opposite side of the coin to what I was saying earlier. And when the trend is down, you can play the resting here, and it would have worked. I think I even
resting short,
and I was scared. I was scared again. This was still when I got more scared, and I didn't play it. But and then here we were kind of rangy. Like probably in real time, I probably made an argument for a double bottom. But remember, trend is down. Which one looks easier, this or this?
Yeah, that's true.
But that's where it goes back to my rule. When the greater trend is up or down, If you only did the trade in the same direction as the trend, it's almost always the easier entry. Like you can just look this is a perfect example. Yeah, you could have made arguments for longs, but what's the argument? Well, look at this. You would have had to sit through this, maybe have gotten stopped out. I'm not sure. Maybe just, but like this is not fun. But this clean, okay, yeah, we kind of back tested, but triple top, whatever, like again, so trend is the most important thing. Don't like you see me counter trend all the time. That's not a good example. That's examples of things what not to do. And then the next day, I don't know what happened here. I don't really remember this day. As you can see, it was kind of unremarkable. We kind of oh, I remember this day. We rallied to 56. Yeah, we rallied to 56.30. This was a big resistance. We rallied to you see back here, like the level's not precise, but you see there's like some kind of level here. We kind of got up to it, and like this was the day a lot of people in the room were shorting up here, and I was kind of like, like I wasn't sure. But when the trend is down, and remember, we just started the trend. Look where we are. We're 56.30. We barely started the trend. This was like the first rip to back test. You could have resting shorted 56. I think it was like 25 or 30. And this was the day I think it was like Microsoft earnings or something. It was something like that. It was like Microsoft. Some earnings was bad. I think it was Microsoft, right?
Yeah, I think they were first.
Yeah, and then okay, so this was after hours. After hours didn't like I don't really trade after hours off the earnings unless it's like a big move. But here, okay, 6 p.m. Trend is back down. Clearly, we hit major resistance. Overall trend is down. Bad news. I don't remember. Okay, so what did I do? I think what happened is okay. So I actually should draw this here. I should draw. So when the trend is down or the trend is in your favor, when you start seeing like flags like this off news, you can play it. The problem is there's no clear entry. Maybe you can make the argument up here, like that. The problem with these flags, and I've played it a couple times recently. I can maybe show you. Oh, maybe I actually no. Maybe I think I'm out of time. Yeah, let's restart it. Wow, do you still have time?
Yeah, it should be good for a little bit longer for sure.
Wow, I think this must be capped at 30 minutes. Because it's only been an hour just now. Yeah, it must be capped. All right, we'll do it one more time. I
Well, I
think
think
we'll be
they're
done after the next one.
okay.
All right.